Hey folks, RB here. It's been a long time since I recorded a video here, so I thought let's just go over it and kind of help you understand where we are right now with SPX and QQQ as well, and what are the things to kind of understand in this particular move, right? So since this, since we reached into this 56, 60 range here, you would recall that I started, talking about that, okay, in this area that there is not much risk reward for the longs and, we are almost reaching, an interim top or a top of some kind, right? So I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago when, we were talking about it, and for a couple of days of that week, I remember SPX kept making these smaller highs, and all that, and while it was quite annoying to say the least that okay, what the hell is going on? All of a sudden, Tuesday night, futures started falling, right? And then one after another thing came up, the whole yen carry trade issue or Iran and Israel, nonsense going on, right? So, and the move was quite volatile. I mean, volatile as in what we have seen in last many months, maybe 15, 18 months or so, right? So and VIX for sure, I mean, it was like the market is coming to an end with VIX touching above 60 and getting to 70s and all that kind of stuff, right? So pretty scary moves. But what we were talking since the beginning was that we are looking at some sort of a correction, because we never had a correction since we broke out from the 4800 highs of previous highs, right? There was one dip again because of Iran and Israel, but then nothing major touching this area and go up, right? So, and my original thought remained the same, that okay, that we will probably in this correction, we are gonna make this as one leg down, probably have another move up to 61%, then move another move down, come another move down, right? Something like this, or maybe lower to touch that 4800 even, right? So this was my original thought, but in the last week or so, I think probably last week or so, when I started looking into the structure which was forming here on the short intervals, and something which I tweeted a couple of days ago as well, that when we started looking at the gaps which were coming after the PPI, those are not normal, right? So those are not the ones which I generally would see in something which is corrective in nature, right? And I wouldn't see that kind of runaway gaps being built up if you see here on SPX, right? So this was the gap that we got on PPI. Then the market went on a balance yesterday. Then another runaway gap today, right? Where the market opens up at a certain level, goes up a little, comes back to test that gap that it created, and never goes to fill it, right? And just starts moving up again. So those are the runaway gaps. So when that happens, it's pretty clear that you're in some sort of a wave three, right? And you have to treat it like that, right? It cannot be looked into as just as a corrective leg, and unless you're kind of reverse, you get a reversal and it turns out to be a C wave. But because C waves can be certain times in flat corrections or in zigzags can be impulse, right? But now if you look at this structure or at US 500, I don't want to consider it as a flat at all, because one, this retracement that we got on the other day, it was just up to the 61%. In a case of a flat, I mean, the reason it's called a flat because the retracement goes up to like a 90% or 100% or even sometimes lower than the starting point, right? So I don't want to count it as a flat as an assumption, because it did what just an impulse wave does, that it made a 61% retracement here, a little bit below that overnight, 78%, pretty much the golden pocket here, right? And then we got a move which now has almost touched 161% at 5553 right now in this after our session, right? Now, considering this as in flat as an assumption and going a hell lot of short here would not be a right thing to do, right? Just because we have to kind of give it the benefit of what the structure looks like. That it's an impulse structure, right? Now the levels which comes in important, to kind of make that distinction that okay, what if RB the reversal is starting, and we will go and test one more low, right? So in that case, I would actually want or the I would want the balance that was created yesterday, which is this area, right, to be taken out by the bears. Until that happens, I don't have reason to be bearish, right? I don't have reason to be thinking that okay, oh yeah, this thing is gonna, go down like totally opposite, right? So until something like this happens where I go very sharp down and test 5377, that was the level which I gave in my last update on Tuesday, right? And then bounce, right? This is going to be too sharp for me to consider it as a sub 4 or a sub 4 or a main 4 here, right? So you see there is a sub 4 here and a main 4 here, but if you get this like a big deep sell, which is almost more than 100 points, yeah, then I can say that these sellers are back, right? Because we are in the supply zone, if you see, right? So this is where this whole thing started, where we got a very aggressive sell with the wicks popping up above the range. So we have in back same range, and if these sellers are gonna be back, right? This is the area to be getting back in from there, and we should get the similar sort of a sell in the next couple of days. Tomorrow is OPEX, maybe then, or maybe on Monday, right? So this is what you would like to see if you are a bear. But other than that, if not this, then what we are looking at is that though we are at 161%, this whole wave 3 which I'm counting may not be over at 161%. This could mark just a sub 3 here, right? Because we had this wave 1 and then 1 2 probably 3 4, and we are just now building up a fifth wave of a third wave, right? So which means there will be a pullback, but I don't expect pullback to be anything more than either 5,000 or 4,980 or somewhere around that number. So if I just do check here on the 38% or 23%, though the trend is strong, sometimes 23% is more than enough. So which is 5491, right? So 5500 5491 is a good place, right? If it goes a little deeper, then we are looking at closing today's gap at around 5460, right? So this is where my sub 4 can end, right? And it could be up, in two sessions, maybe tomorrow. It's about almost about 50 points, 50 or 60 odd points. Can take just one session. Now VIX is dropping back into 15s. I don't expect a 2% move every day, right? But yeah, maybe tomorrow or by Monday we should revisit this particular range is what I'm expecting, right? And if this area is holding again like 5491, and if it goes a little bit deeper into 5470, 5465 sort of range, basically this top edge of the balance area, right? I would be initiating new longs here again, right? So right now there is no risk reward in going long again, specifically when you are at these highs. Right, there could be a scenario where it tries to pop up in the morning, with a gap up, right? I There is a lot of liquidity which resides here, right? Because a lot of shots were taken here, so the stop loss will be somewhere above that. I would be careful trying to chase any of the longs up there, because that can become your failed breakout scenario very quickly, and the sell can simply start this wave 4 that I'm looking at, right? So once this 4 is over and once we get back into this area, probably I'll try to update you on what it looks like. Um, you know, through eggs, and yeah, perfect, right? So and then when it comes to 5491, if it's like a chop cell making like a bull flag in this whole thing, right, we are looking at the next uplift from here to be able to break this structure and make this as a new demand here, or whatever consolidation happens here, and test the all-time high again, right? So once we test that all-time high again, we can expect another rejection coming back to the same area, testing this particular trend line, which is 4560, 4550, again in the same range, right? So generally a wave 4 retracement does come into the sub wave 4 area or goes a little below it. People start to think like it's an head and shoulder forming or something like that, and they try to just get the liquidity below these lows and then just rally off to the fifth wave, right? So that's what I would want to see, in these next couple of days and maybe a week or so, that this area becomes my area to kind of do the dip buys again and again when it comes here, right? So like I said, if there like I said initially, if there is a big sell crossing this area testing 5377, yeah, I would be worried about that one being initial wave to start a next leg down, and be cautious with my longs. But as long as it's chopping and flagging above this particular section, bulls are good to go, right? So that's all I wanted to record, and the same thing applies for QQQ as well. It's pretty much in the same area like we discussed, and we have this zone which we marked for SPX, and the same zone is what is applicable here, right? So we might have just a small dip here, in the next 2 days, marking this as sub 4 again, move up, then drop back into this area again for the major 4, like I explained before, right? And then move up again in the fifth wave, right? So this is QQQ fell more than SPX, so this is still far behind in testing the all-time highs, right? But I think slowly and gradually we will get there, somewhere closer, before everything just takes another retracement after this fifth wave, coming back down a little bit, 5% or so, and then building up a momentum for the next one, right? So that's all what we are looking at right now, and that's going to be the plan for next few days. And if something changes, I'll certainly update you all. Well, that was it. Thank you very much for watching, and please do like, subscribe, and share, so that others can take advantage of it. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye bye.